Welcome to Vampire Radio! Hola, hola, hola. You are tuning into Vampire Radio on this fine Thursday morn. Well, it's Thursday for me. I don't know about you. So look, I'm just going to go ahead and call myself out. I know I said I was going to have this episode up on Monday, but here's the thing. You know how I've been having so many technical difficulties? Well, I went and took in my equipment to get repaired. They said it was going to take a week. And it's been going on 3 now. So the one thing that I rely on, I have been without. So I've been trying to make do, AKA I have to jump through hoops to make things happen. And it's been pushing me back. So that's just what's been going on. Hey, at least I've been giving you a new episode every week. So you got to give me that, right? So it just is what it is. Deal with it, people. And I don't even have my microphone. I'm just doing old school audio. It is what it is. It's like we're up here in freaking the year 2000, but it's fine because it worked then and it'll work now. Oh my goodness, it was so much fun revisiting this episode, like I mentioned, just because I felt like I reconnected with that part of me, the energy that I was in, and this week, I needed that, just to be honest with you. I've been having a crazy week as per usual. Long story short as I can make it, for a few years now, I've had a family member living here that I've been taking care of. And at first it was really, really hard because they couldn't do anything for themselves. Then it got better, but then they had an episode recently. So that's really set up back a lot. My stress levels have been high, but you know what? It's okay. That's just life. Things happen. It's all about how you act and react to situations. And right now is just my testing season, I guess. So for me to be able to revisit this episode, that's why I'm saying it really gave me a piece of myself that I needed to recharge. So go ahead, sit back, relax, and enjoy this Vampire Radio. I had the date down too. Dang it. It was September something. So almost a year ago, the Martini Sunday Brunch. That's how I was supposed to sound earlier, but I didn't have my microphone plugged in, so that was a fail. But this is not a fail. You're here hanging out with me on this Martini Sunday Brunch Hour. Thank you so much. Of course, I'm Shelly from Kelly, joining you live from the Regal Beagle Tiki Bar. That's right. Today I am not at the Batcave, even though the Batcave is a hop, skip, and a jump away. I am live from the Regal Beagle Tiki Bar. Why am I here, you ask? Because it is, the theme of the show is Martini Sunday Brunch Hour. So I thought, why not make some martinis? Martinis. Why? Because I plan to make a vodka martini and a gin martini, which is the OG way, right? Shout out to everyone in the chat room. Good morning. Thank you for joining me. And thank you for listening on the browser. As far as I know, I've been told that you can download AMP app on the Android. Shout out from the browser. And of course, everyone that's listening to the replay. Now, just to let you guys know, something that I'm doing, because over here on AMP app, the episodes expire after about like 2 weeks, I believe, which is fair. So what I'm going to be doing is I am going to put the audio only, not the music part. I guess it all is audio, duh. You know what? I haven't had much coffee. I am super tired today, so we'll see how this this show will go today. But anyways, so I've been backing up every episode, been going through them one by one, and I'm going to have them available up online.
I'll let you guys know the details as it comes. It'll just not have the music part of it because I don't have the license to the music, which is why you got to listen live or at least on the replay here on AMP app, because then you get to hear the music and really get into the vibe of what the show is all about. You know what I mean? Like today, as mentioned, it's the Martini Sunday brunch hour. Now, earlier this morning, when I was just like getting my day started, I was backing up an episode that was from 2 weekends ago, I believe. Yes, 2 weekends ago. And it was when I had my lounge Sunday chat, if you guys remember. The Sunday, what did I call it? The Sunday lounge and Sunday chat. And what that meant is we got into some music of William Shatner. Yes, the William Shatner. And one of the songs, I think it was the first one I ended up playing, was Rocket Man that he sang. And then Danielle and I went into this whole thing of you go on the YouTubes and you type it in. He does this whole one-man performance, and it is really something to be seen. And that's the version I thought I had. And here on AMP app, when I pick the music to play and cue it up, I could see the album covers. So I'm now trying to be more mindful of double checking and making sure that's the right album. So the other one was from the album, it was like called Space Rock. So that's why it was more less loungy, more space rocky, I guess. But this is the version I meant to play. I wish I could play the version that's on YouTube where he does that performance, because that's really the lounge experience. But I feel playing the original version that I plan to still fits with Martini Sunday Brunch Hour. You be the judge. I'll be in the chat room, and I'll be right back.
So part of what did get cut off was the story about a parrot I used to know named Voodoo. So I used to date this dude in my early 20s, and he had this awesome parrot named Voodoo. And what was so super cute about Voodoo is the noises he would make. His cage was by a window, so he could hear the trash man. So he would make the trash, like the backing up sound, the beep, beep, but he sounded just like it. And another thing that he would do was he would go, strangers in the night, and he'd go, dooby dooby doo, and then he would whistle it too, so so it was so cute, freaking Voodoo. So that part got cut off as well. That's just the little backstory of Voodoo. And it really sucks because I have to edit out the music. And when I was listening to this episode and editing out the music yesterday, I was just like, man, it just flows with the story so much more. But I get it. I totally get it. People got to make their money. It's their music. I am going to find something that's similar to AMP app, and I'm going to freaking do it. I don't care if it's not as good as AMP app was. As long as it's good enough, I will find it.
Welcome back. You're listening to Vampire Radio, and that was Frank Sinatra with Strangers in the Night. It also reminded me of how Voodoo would also go, that was the other part too. So again, shout out to sweet little Voodoo, wherever he may be or not be. You know what's interesting? A little side note. I don't know if you guys can relate out there, but there's certain people who rub me the wrong way or I straight out dislike, specifically in the world of wrestling, because that was my job for 17 years, not pagan, but that's just the deal. And what's so crazy to me is I keep seeing parts of an interview of somebody that never did anything to me, just rubbed me wrong, and I kind of observed them when I've shared a locker room and just rubbed me wrong. So therefore, I guess I don't care for them. I don't want to say I don't like them because I don't really know them. And there's something about them. And somebody close to them once vented to me a thing or two. And I was like, see, I know I'm onto something. I know there's something there. But what throws me for a loop is when I see this person having interviews or videos or whatever circulating And the things that they're talking about, I 1000% agree with. And then it makes me realize, see, this is why I struggle with, I want to like them, but there's just something, and I just don't know what it is. Ugh! I hate that. But something I know about life is when I struggle with that kind of feeling towards somebody, answers always come to me when I least expect it, but they always come to me so that I could at least lay it down to rest and have some peace with it. So it's just so interesting. This one person in particular, I'm like, dude, I want to like them so hard, but I just don't. But dude, everything that they're saying needs to be said. And people need to be talking about this, especially in the world of wrestling. This person knows what they're talking about. They've been around for a really, really long time. Why don't I like them? I don't know. Can you guys relate? Let me know in the chat room. I would love to know. I mean, it doesn't have to be a wrestler, but just maybe somebody that you follow, or I don't know. I need to know that I'm not alone in this. That's the deal. I need to know that I'm not alone in this. Anyways, up next, we're going to have another Dean Martin song. And when we come back, I'll tell you exactly why I chose it. And away we go.
Oh my gosh, at first I totally forgot who I was talking about. But then when I was listening to it more, I was like, oh, I know exactly who I was talking about. And not only do I remember who I was talking about, I stand by everything I said then and now. That guy's douchebag. And God bless him, fake and phony.
Welcome back. You're listening to Vampire Radio, and that, of course, was Dean Martin with Volare. Now, why did I pick that song? Let me tell you something, brother, sister. So back in the day, I thought, I don't know why, but I thought I was this big bad bitch. I had this cute, oh my gosh, so cute Camaro with T-tops. It was a 6-speed, not a 5-speed, a 6-speed. It was turbo. It was a bomb car, man. It was a bitchin' Camaro. But I thought I was a big bad bitch with a side of douchebag. So I thought it was a good idea and by the way, this car was paid off. I decided to go to the dealership by myself. I was 20 years old, 20, 21. So young Shelly thought it was a good idea to drive her bitchin' Camaro that's all souped up to the dealership by herself to get herself a big old bro truck. That's right, a big old bro truck. Bros. I got my bro truck. I can't even begin to think of how they took advantage of me walking in at 21 years old, Shelly, cleavage out, tiny skirt, bitchin' Camaro. Let's trade it in and get a bro truck. This is how you know that I was left to my own with trying to figure life out. That was just the deal. So I would drive around in my bro truck, and I had this box CD of a bunch of really awesome music. And one of the CDs I listened over and over to was this Dean Martin one that happened to have the Volare and the Kick in the Head, the same album that I shared here on Amp App. And it just really reminds me of driving around thinking I'm a big bad bitch. And even though part of me was, there was just this part of me that was soft and just needed some love. And I would get that dose of love from Dean Martin. That's just a fact. That's what got me through. That's what got little 21-year-old Shelly thinks she's a big bad bitch in her bro truck. Boo. But I'd like to think that the bro truck saved my life because I had this really, really toxic, douchey piece of shit boyfriend. And he was physically abusive, mentally abusive, the whole 9 yards. And I remember this was back when you would do photo shoots, the photographers would give you the negatives to look at, and you would look at them through the little viewer, the little glass viewer, to see how cute they are and pick what photos that you wanted edited. So there was a photo shoot I did. It was an ad actually for Black Fly sunglasses. And I had all the negatives because they told me that I could have these ones that they made for me. So if I ever want to print any of them out, I can use them for whatever. And so that psycho boyfriend, he got jealous. We weren't even together, but like I was trying to break away from him. So he was still kind of around. And he took my negatives and took off in his bro truck. And I went after him. And when he saw me coming around the corner, he slammed on his brakes so that I could slam into him. If I had that Camaro, I probably would have died. But I had my bro truck with my I think I'm a bad bitch attitude. You bet your sweet ass that I crawled out of my window. My truck was totaled. I crawled out of that window and went right up to him and got in his face and like got very aggressive. I was not concerned with like, am I okay or anything? I was just like, this piece of shit guy, like, no. So after the truck got totaled, I got to, well, it didn't get 100% totaled. I got it repaired, had it for a while. And then what happened? What was my next car? Maybe that's why I was carless for. Oh my gosh! I just realized I had a lapse of my time. Like I can't remember what happened. What the heck happened in between that time? Oh my god! No, I got in my truck because I remember now when I broke away from that relationship. That's when I was in wrestling, and I had that black truck. Yeah, always late on the tags, always late on my payment. But anyways, so. That song takes me to better days, but it does remind me of that black truck when I thought that I was a big old bad bitch, and I just kind of was, but wasn't. You know, ignorance is bliss.
Now, you know what's really interesting about this? I must have said the word black truck about 3 times. My truck was white. I've never owned a black truck. At the top of my head, I can't even think of anyone that I ever knew that had a black truck. It's so weird that I said black truck about 3 times there.
Okay, so I want to introduce you guys to somebody who has amazing music, and you definitely need to check him out. We're going to listen to him first. I'm going to let you guys be the judge. You tell me what you think. This is Richard Cheese with Smoke 2 Joints.
Oh my goodness, Richard Cheese is so amazing. Like I had mentioned earlier, if you don't know who he is, you have to Google him. He's amazing. You'll love him. I promise.
Welcome back. You're listening to Vampire Radio, and that was Richard Cheese with Smoke 2 Joints. So what'd you think? You a fan? Do you like the Richard Cheese? I hope you do, because I think he does really awesome stuff with songs that we all know and love. So, of course, let's give a little shout out to good old Dick Cheese. Good old Richard Cheese. But dude, you guys should totally look him up. He has a lot of really great music you know, music you love, and he just throws his lounge-esque vibes into it and does a really good job. I'm a fan. I hope I've made you a fan. And speaking of, I'm going to share with you a song from one of my favorite lounge-esque albums. Now, I discovered it's like a series of albums. Oh, I'd say about 2010-ish, I believe. And when I discovered these albums, it rocked my world, pun intended, because this album is called Ultra Lounge on the Rocks. Now, what does that mean? It's songs, again, you know and love, but with the lounge flair. And they also have one there's like Bachelor Pad, and that one I think I have another song on there. No, I don't. There's like a Bachelor Pad one, it has a different vibe. They have a different series of like different music genres that they just lounge up, and it's just so awesome to just, if you're cleaning the house or you just want to relax or you're just kicking back, like whatever, this music is just very uplifting to me, and I hope that it piques some of your guys' interests. So here is Henry Jerome with Aquarius, Let the Sunshine In. Welcome back. You're listening to Vampire Radio, and that was Helmut Zacharias. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Probably not, but with Light My Fire. That is on the same album that Ultra Lounge Rocks on the Rocks, Rock and Roll on the Rocks. I should know this album number. Okay, it's the Ultra Lounge on the Rocks. That's the album name. I'm a little flustered because I was communicating with somebody and threw me off. Anyways, so shout out again to everyone in the chat room and just been hanging out with me and chit-chatting with me. It's always fun. And remember, you guys, if you join in on AMP app, you can join in on the conversation in the chat room, because during every song, there I am. So shout out to everyone in the chat room. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so I have a little bit of bad news. Your friend Shelly, your amiga extraordinaire, I effed up. I thought I had everything for these martinis. I did not. This week has been a really crazy week. Been very busy. I could have been a little bit more prepared for today's show, but the bottom line is I'm not. So what we're going to do is we're going to improvise. And I don't know why this is my improvisation, but I have some beet, carrot, orange juice. Look at that. I didn't even click it. It just went off. There you go, because I bumped it. And then I just have a shot of vodka, because that's what we're going to do. It's probably going to F me up because I haven't even eaten today. And this is me breaking my intermittent fast here on the Martini Sunday brunch hour with all of you fine people. Cheers.
Oh, my martini faux pas. It's okay. I remember it working out because I love beet juice and I love vodka. So it worked out. And I haven't had a martini, and I don't even know how long. It's not my drink. So maybe if I would have made a martini, I wouldn't have liked it. So at least I enjoyed taking the shot and then drinking that beet juice. It's nutritious, right?
Welcome back. You're listening to Vampire Radio, and that was Henry Jerome with Oh, Pretty Woman. How cute is that version? Let me tell you something, brother, sister, because that is off of the Ultra Lounge on the Rocks Volume 2. See, it's a two-parter. Or maybe it's even a three-parter. I'm not sure. But super cute, right? Music you know and love with that lounge twist. And if I remember correctly, the Volume 2 one has more of like a kind of swinging 60s-esque vibe to it, lounge vibe, whereas the first one is more just like ultra lounge, more like laid back kind of vibes. So it's really, really awesome. You guys got to check it out. You can even just go on YouTube. You don't have to buy anything. Just go on YouTube or here on Amazon if you're using the AMP app. And it's really fun, cute music. And it's music that a lot of people can enjoy. Like when I have, let's say, family members over, if I'm playing music like that, they're like, what is this? And then like everyone can enjoy it because not everyone is into the same kind of music. So even when I just have my little parties and there's people who typically wouldn't listen to something like that, they're like, dude, what was that? What are we listening to? I'm not trying to be boastful. I'm just sharing with you people the things that have been shared with me when people come to my little parties. They love my music playlist. And a lot of the times it's just when I put music or bands or albums like the ones I've been sharing with you in my algorithm on Pandora, and then I always usually, that makes sense, right? typically speaking, even party or not, I usually have my Pandora on shuffle, unless I'm in the mood for a specific genre of music or a band or whatever. So it's really awesome to throw in things like this because, again, it's music everyone knows and loves, but just with a different twist to it. I think it's really awesome. And going back to what I was talking about on yesterday's show is like, that's music. That's true art when you can just connect with it on different levels, different ways. I just freaking love it. Like in the future, I'm going to share with you guys, just a little spoiler alert, a band called Ski Whiff who's on that vibe. And so is this dude, DJ Yoda. I'm going to share those in the future. We will Marty McFly back in time in the future. We'll live in present. We'll do it all together, you guys, here on Vampire Radio. Oh, yeah. Welcome back. You're listening to Vampire Radio, and that was the theme from Route 66. It's that shot. I think the shot's getting to me, but it's okay. Take two. Welcome back. You're listening to Vampire Radio, and that was the take two. No one ever has to know. It's because I haven't eaten yet. I broke my fast with the shot. Ready? And action. Welcome back. You're listening to Vampire Radio, and that was the theme from Route 66 by good old Nelson Whittle and his orchestra on the Ultra Lounge. Oh, it cut off. See my info. That time it wasn't my fault. I did a good recovery, right? That's what happens when you're hanging out over here at the Martini Lounge on an empty stomach. So there it is. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was the Ultra Lounge. I forget what, but it was volume 4. So going back to how these albums, they have different volumes. And each one is kind of tailored to, I think it's like this one was soundtracks maybe or something like that, because it is the theme from Route 66. So it's one of those things where each album has its own little genre within that Martini Lounge, that lounge vibes, maybe 60s-esque kind of thing. It's really, really cute. So again, if you're into all that, or maybe not, but you've been loving what you're hearing now, like, you got to check it out. It's really great. And it's, to me, music that it's just really brought me positive vibes. Let's just say that. These different albums have brought me positive vibes at different times. That's why I'm so passionate about sharing it with you guys. Because I know not everybody's into the same thing, but like, you know, if you're more open. I remember once I knew this fellow, and he was like, you know, he was a friend of a boyfriend I had. So I lost him in the breakup, unfortunately. But he was really cool, this guy. I wish I got him in the breakup. But one of the things he told me, because at that time, I was watching, or during the day, I put on, just like I do now, the music choice channel that the cable network has. So it just plays music. And there used to be a channel called Arena Rock. Now, Arena Rock was mainly like 80s metal, hair metal, mixed with like 80s metal too. And so at that time, I was going to the Rainbow Bar and Grill on Sunset. So it was really something that, I don't know, I just was having that phase. You know, you go through phases with your music. Like, you listen to like maybe one genre for a while, and then you move on and whatever. So that's what I was going through. And then he was like, you know what, Shelly? Because we were talking about how music's just awesome, right? He's like, you know what, Shelly? But if you just listen to nothing but arena rock all day, how is another part of your brain going to get activated? And I was like, dude, that's a good point. And so, yeah, maybe I listen to the arena rock during the day because that's what helped me keep on task and do what I got to do. But when it wasn't time for all that and I didn't need the arena rock and it was just on my leisure more so, it's like, you know, let me change it up a little bit. And he was right. Like, it's fine to get lost in a genre for a while, but don't get two-step for too long because then maybe you'll end up in a rut yourself. And when he brought that up, I was in a rut in different parts of my life. It's deep. See, this is why I wish I got him in the breakup. But it's okay. He was originally his friend, so that's why I like him even more. He had to stay with his loyalty. He had to stay with his loyalty to his douchebag friend. But anyways, That's what I'm hoping to do here with sharing this music with you guys, because as you know, if you follow me on Twitter, Shelly from Cali, I've been sharing music with you guys for a really long time. I remember, do you guys know this wrestler Joey Ryan? He's been in wrestling for a long time. He's been in some scandals, whatever. I haven't spoken to Joey Ryan in a really long time. It's a whole other thing. But Joey Ryan was around when I first started wrestling. And I remember Joey when he was so new to the business, because I was too. And so we kind of have taken this ride on this wrestling wave together in a way. I mean, separate waves, but same ocean, you know? And I remember I was doing work with CWF Hollywood here in SoCal, and he was on that show. I think he was even maybe a part of the booking. I'm not sure. Maybe, I don't know. But he was definitely part of the show. And Joey Ryan, one time we were at the show at CWF Hollywood, and he goes, "You always know what music Shelly's listening to because she's always sharing it on her timeline." And I said, "Yeah, because I know people follow it, and maybe I'm sending out messages to people," which is true to this day. I share music because it's on my heart. I love it. It's something special to me. But sometimes I'll share it because it's reminding me of a certain person. And usually I'll tweet about it. I'll be like, oh, or a memory like I did, you know, and I kind of broke it down to you guys on yesterday's show. If you missed it, no problem. The replay's available already. But I've been sharing my music for a long time. I remember I shared my music. It was AOL Radio. That's how deep it goes. AOL Radio, bitches. It was back at AOL Radio. Danielle and I were listening to Martini Lounge and all these other musics and discovered a whole other world, which was great. To where AOL Radio gave me a free subscription because I just would talk about them all the time. And then AOL Radio kind of fizzled out, and Slacker Radio, I think maybe they merged. That was the thing. They merged. And then Slacker Radio gave me a free subscription for years just because I was always sharing, always sharing. So to my haters that are listening to this episode, let it be known, bitch, I've been sharing things that I care about and love for a really long time. I don't share things to jump on bandwagons. I don't share things to get attention or try to make myself relevant. I share things because these are the things I like. And then I connect with people online that like the same thing. Point in case, the Tune In With Me and Svengoolie people out there that I'm now online friends with. Shout out to them. Shout out to freaking the man himself, Svengoolie. Shout out to Tune In With Me. Shout out to everyone who has ever worked on Tune In With Me and Sventoony. Because I've been on board for a long time, and it's real interesting seeing all kinds of other people now being on board, but that's besides the case. And I've been sharing music with my fan base for a really long time, and what kept me doing it, even though Joey Ryan tried to put me on the spot and call me out for always sharing my music, I turned to him and I said, you know what though? My fans will write me, or sometimes my peers or friends, and tell me, wow, that song you shared, da da da. So on top of maybe it's towards somebody, or maybe it's just a song that I connect to, the reason why I continue to share it is because people engage with me, and it's not because I'm trying to engage with them because I'm trying to be like social media star. I think it's fun talking about music. I think it's fun talking about The Simpsons. I think it's fun talking about whatever television shows or movies or whatever I talk about a lot online. I think it's fun talking about because I like those things. And it's really fun to connect with other people from different states, in some cases, different countries that like the same stuff. I think it's really, really fun. And that's my oops, and that's my 2 cents. That shot. I'm telling you, that shot. All right, everyone. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to leave you with 2 songs to end the show, of course. Thank you all for joining me. Everyone who was in the chat room, everyone on the browser, everyone listening to the replay, and of course, all my Secret Society members. Until next weekend, I'm Shelly from Cali. I hope you have a fantastic week. And I'll be smelling all of you guys later. Adios. Oh, here's that shout out first. Gotta give props where props are due. Adios.
Oh, AOL Radio, Slacker Radio, and now Pandora. Those were the days. There's some times where do you guys ever get this? Where the weather will be just so, and maybe I'm drinking coffee, so my taste buds and then the aroma, so my smell is right there. And I will flash back to the AOL radio days. And it's a good, sometimes I just sit in that energy for a second, just be like, ooh, yeah, I love connecting with that. But yeah, dude, when I was listening to AOL radio, I discovered so much different kind of types of music. And then not only just different types, but within the genres I already like, different bands or musicians or whatever. It was so cool. And I felt like I was cheating on AOL radio, but then Slacker radio, when I went to Slacker, but then Slacker radio and AOL radio joined forces. And that's when I was like, dude, this is awesome, because I felt like the algorithm and the reach was better with Slacker. And then now that I've been a Pandora bitch for many, many years, I just tweeted them recently. I was like, at this point, you should just sponsor me already. When I say sponsor, I mean, just give me a free account. I don't care. You don't have to pay me any money. Just give me a free account, because if you follow me on Twitter, you know how much I throw out there still to this day. Much like I was talking about earlier, I still tweet out my music. I still tweet out music to people specifically, and sometimes it's just a moment I'm in and I'm sharing it with the fans or my peers and coworkers who follow me, former coworkers. So I still do all that, but it's Pandora, and I really wish Pandora would just give me a free membership at this point. Oh, you know what I used to do on AMP app? It was once I started getting in my groove, so I definitely was doing this in the month of September. So I started AMP app, I believe, in, was it like May or June? So I had been doing it for a few months. I think it was June. So here we were in September 2023 last year. And what I started to do was, at the end, I had a specific music playlist that it would always be the same order of songs. And one of the songs that it would be the last song to end Vampire Radio Live on AMP app was Riders on the Storm. And the reason why is because, first of all, that song is just special to me for many reasons, but that's been the official song of the Secret Society. If you know, you know. So for me, that was my little nod to my Secret Society members and that energy. So the first song that when I would sign off or whatever would be Martin Denny's Enchanted Sea. And I just love that song. Look it up on YouTube or whatever. Martin Denny, Enchanted Sea. That song to me feels like magic. So here I go again. I wish I could play it for you guys here, but I can't. But I just feel so robbed of my AMP app experience. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's show. I'm going to put it up, and it'll probably go up this afternoon, but today on Thursday. I did put a poll up on the Patreon, and I put it for free. So if you're a free member on there, you're following the page or whatever, you could totally vote. And I'm asking you guys, the listeners, is it better to post a new episode on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Thursdays. So you have to go over to the Patreon, Vampire Radio on Patreon, to vote, and you don't have to be a VIP. It's totally for free. So go over there now before the weekend, because I got a schedule when the show is going to start going up consistently. I'm trying my best, people. Thanks for understanding. And until next week, I'm Shelly from Kelly, and I'll be smelling all of you later. Adios.
Hurry back, and remember to bring your death certificates. Hurry back.
You a little bit nervous today?
Feel great.